Hello and welcome, my name is Kyle FtW and welcome to another Call of Duty Zombies video. In this video we are back with another episode of Unpopular Opinions. This is episode 5, and in today's video we are going to be talking about Alpha Omega and why I believe this is the most fun Easter egg in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I recently played this Easter egg and I had so much fun playing it. Specifically earlier today, which is the gameplay that you're seeing in the background, and last night I played it actually twice. Had so much fun. For some reason I just have a ton of nostalgia for this map. I mean, I'm really not sure why. I think it was just the deal at the time of Black Ops 4, July in specific. I mean, it was summer. I was really enjoying Black Ops 4 as a game. I was really excited for the new season. The new operation, I guess, is what Black Ops 4 had, and I just loved this map. And then I went to play the Easter egg yesterday and I just fell in love with it. I mean, I had just so much fun. The most fun I've had in this game playing an Easter egg, besides of course the Voyage of Despair boss fight. So I decided to make a video today on this, and this is definitely an unpopular opinion of course, because me just making a positive Black Ops 4 video is a unpopular opinion in its own right, because people just downright hate Black Ops 4 Zombies for whatever reason. Personally, I think it's a fine Zombies game. In fact, it's better than every single non-Treyarch zombie mode by far. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the video. So this is going to be a little bit of an interesting unpopular opinion video, because normally what I do is I just talk about the things I like about the map, things I dislike about the map, and stuff like that. But today we're actually going to be talking about the Easter egg, which means I'm going to talk about all the steps of the Easter egg to give you guys some background, talk about the boss fight, and then I will go into my likes and dislikes about the Easter egg and the map in general. But one thing I want to say before I jump into the Easter egg steps is I really love the round change music. I know that's kind of a weird thing to love about a map, but I love it. It's so good. It's basically this jazz themed map in general, and the round change music is this jazzy sound to it. I love it. It's so good. But anyways, that's just a little bit of a side note. The atmosphere of course of the map is great as well. And now let's go ahead and jump into it. So there's quite a few Easter egg steps with this Easter egg. Of course, it's not anything simple. It's not a simple Easter egg or anything like that. It's a full dedicated Easter egg quest, and it's a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first Easter egg step is to turn on the power. Of course, that's how it is with every single Easter egg ever. You have to turn on the power so that you can actually buy perks, get things you need to done. So power of course is the first step of the Easter egg. Then we have the lockdown, which is down below in the generator room. You hold square on the little console, and then you have a minute lockdown, which will then make you able to pack a punch, which is the next step of the Easter egg. So you have to go around to 4 houses around the map that have Nova 6 coming from them, and then contain the leak, which has some zombies coming at you, and actually add zombies to the round, so you can actually get a lot of things done in the round that you decide to pack a punch. Then you have to go back to Rushmore, which then Rushmore will activate after you flip the round, after you got pack a punch. Then you will move on to the next step, which is getting Galvanuckles from the bus, which is the original spot on the original Nuketown Zombies. And then you have to go down to a TV and melee a zombie by the TV, which will then have a lady reading out letters and numbers, which will correlate to either the house that you need to go to and the time of that house that you need to go to. So that will happen 5 times, and the sixth house of course will have no letter or number to it, so you just have to melee that one. So then that's the next step, and once that is done, you will go over to the next step, which is the Adam access code step. So you have to go around the map and find a McCain access code, a Purnell access code, and finally a Sawyer access code. And then you put those into Rushmore once again, and then you will be able to get Adam done, and then you can move on to the next step, which is the core value step. So basically what they wanted to go for when they made this Easter egg is to be the most stereotypical American that you can possibly be, and they definitely did a good job. As an American, I would know they did. I mean, it's just so stereotypical and so like overly patriotic, which is super funny. But anyways, the first core value is to escort a red Nova 6 crawler out from the bunker area. It spawns, I think, everywhere. It spawns in generators, it spawns in lounge, it spawns in diner, it spawns pretty much everywhere. And then you have to escort that into the transfusion facility, which Rushmore needs. And once that is done, you will be able to move on to the next core value step, which is using the Adam, the which is using the Atom unit to actually get a 115 canister from Marlton, which is in this map as well. And basically the 80 AM unit is basically the same as the Silver Protector from Black Ops 3 Zombies, which is pretty cool. And once that is done, you can move on to core value 3, which is the teleporter step, which you have to get a jolting jack to shoot a server panel, which will open that server panel. Then you hold square on that and you pull out your specialist weapon, run through the teleporters, and then drop it off by Rushmore. This is probably the hardest step, arguably, but it's super easy if you have the Stamina perk as well as you have the Katana Wonder Weapon. It makes it super easy, and that is the next core value. Once that is done though, you will actually have to find some access codes around the map once you return to Rushmore, of course. Then you will have to use a brain rot weapon to actually get 3 different codes using brain rot, which is pretty interesting. And then go into the final core value, which is actually where you have to power back up the facility. So once you get all of those done, you'll put them in. Of course, Rushmore will talk to you before you actually get these access codes. But once this actually happens, then Rushmore will actually shut down and the whole area will shut, the whole map will actually lose its power. So you have to go around to the lounge, the storage, the diner, the beds, and a couple other places to actually flip some generator switches. And it does sound super confusing, but it's actually a pretty easy step in all honesty. All you have to do is just watch Mr. Waffle's Easter egg guide. That's the easiest way to do it. He basically walks you through where each and every little generator handle has to be facing, whether it's up or down. Makes it super easy. And then once that is done, you are now onto the next step, which is 3 different lockdowns around the map. So there's normally one either behind the greenhouse or the yellow house in the cul-de-sac area of the map. Then there's another one either in the lounge or the diner. And then the final one is either in prisoner holding or the transfusion facility, which is the transfusion facility one is probably the hardest, as well as the underground one, because there's not very much space to train. This is probably a pretty hard step as well, depending on the round you're on. But basically you pick up body parts from this, and then you go over to the little statue or the little mannequin by the APD, put those pieces on, and then you will actually have Peter McCain speaking through the mannequin, which is really cool. And actually, fun fact, if you have Ultimus Dempsey, he actually has some unique dialogue that is only unique to Tank Dempsey, which is really cool. Basically, he talks about how he knew Peter McCain at Verrucht and stuff like that, which is really interesting.
Whoa. Where am I? Why can't I see right? What's happened to me?
Deputy Director Peter McCain, this is Rushmore. Remember me? My new allies and I have brought you back.
Rushmore? The base computer, yeah, I remember an experiment. Something went wrong. Oh, Purnell. Something happened to Purnell.
Yes, Director Purnell is missing, as are the rest of the Broken Arrow staff. Whatever happened shut me down. I can't remember the incident itself. Some sort of recording error.
Wait, I know who your friends are.
Verrucht. That's where I know your name from. I went there to rescue you, but you were already gone.
And the final step of the Easter egg before the Avogadro boss fight, which is super awesome, is to actually escort the Peter McCain orb. This is pretty difficult in all honesty if you don't have Victoria's Tortoise or you don't use the Undead Man Walking code, but it's pretty easy as well. You just have to escort it all the way around the map. I don't know why it moves in the direction that it does in all honesty, because it moves in the direction it starts in the yellow house, and it could easily just go across the street and go to Peter McCain and be done. But it goes through the entire map, and it's pretty crazy. But once that's done, you actually will go down to the APD control area and actually hold square on these monitors, which will actually create zombies that are mannequins instead of actual zombies, which is really cool and unique. And once you fill up the APD, it's kind of like the Moon Easter egg, where when Samantha comes down, you actually have to fill up the little cylinders by the MPD. And once that is filled, the Avogadro will come out, and you will actually begin the full boss fight, which is really cool. So the Avogadro comes out. There's actually a nuke that drops down, but you don't die to the nuke. It just kind of adds to the theme of what's going to happen. But then you run around the map, filling up 4 soul boxes, which are in the lounge, the storage, the diner, and the beds. I think in my game, I either had diner or lounge first, and then I had storage second, and then I had either lounge or diner third, and then finally you end at beds and you have to fill up the souls once again. And this is pretty difficult because the beds one actually starts and then it stops, so you actually have to wait a little bit for it to go back on, hold square on it again, and then you fill up zombie souls. So it's pretty easy, but one thing about the boss fight is that after you complete a certain soul box, then it actually will get an electric shock in that area, which means that you could die, so you have to be really, really careful. So you escape that, and once you fill up all 4 of the soul boxes, then you will actually be done with that, and you'll have to go back to the APD control room to actually knife the Avogadro back in. And the Avogadro doesn't have too many attacks. He has one attack that seems to do a ton of damage, that's seemingly almost instant down me quite a bit, and it actually, I think it takes you down to 50 health. I don't think he has any attack that can just kill you outright, but he can't take away your weapons. He does have an attack that does 1 zombie hit and 2 zombie hits, which makes it super easy to go down. But once you knife the Avogadro, basically I just use the cloaking ability with the katana, and boom, it was super, super easy, and I completed the boss fight, and then you get the cutscene. And, well, actually, after you knife the Avogadro, then you actually have to get the elemental shard from the APD, and then you have officially completed the Easter egg, and then you get the cutscene, which is super, super cool, and basically ties to the second to last map, which is just crazy that Ether is over, and if I can be completely honest. So now that we have all of this talked about, now we can go ahead and talk about what I enjoy about the Easter egg and about the map in general, and what I do not like about the Easter egg and the map in general. So, starting off here with the likes, I really, really like Rushmore as a character. He's super, super cool, he's unique, he's fun, and I like the abilities. You can do a whole bunch of fun things with him. You can make the zombies walk, you can make the zombies barf if you might knife them, there's just so many things that you can do with Rushmore. He's a funny character. As I said, he's super, super stereotypical America, and I really enjoy Rushmore as a character. I mean, he's perfect for the map, love that he's in there, and just adds to the experience of the map. Next thing I like, the core value steps are really fun and they're not tedious. The Nova 6 crawler escort is super simple. Every step is simple. There's nothing that's overly complicated. I mean, there's some Easter eggs out there that are incredibly complicated and steps that nobody wants to do. For example, the attack of the radioactive thing chemistry step. Nobody wants to do that. But every single step in this Easter egg is easy and it's not tedious. The only tedious one, I will admit, is probably the Pack-a-Punch step. That can be a little tedious, but we'll get to some of these steps a little bit later. But yeah, none of the steps are really that tedious. The core values are a lot of fun. The hardest one, as I said, is powering back up the facility, but once you watch that guide, it's not tedious at all and is super, super easy. So the next thing that I like about Alpha Omega is that it has the perfect balance of difficulty and fun. Alpha Omega is honestly a pretty difficult map. It has a lot of tight spaces. It doesn't have very good training spots. It's honestly a pretty difficult map. But the thing about Alpha Omega is that it is fun as well. Like, it's not anything too difficult to where a new player can't do it, but it's not anything too easy for someone who's played zombies for a long time like I have. So, in my opinion, it has a very good balance. Pardon me. It has a really good balance of difficulty and fun, and that is the next thing I like about the Alpha Omega Easter egg. Now, jumping into the next thing that I like about Alpha Omega is the ray gun upgrades. Now, I know that this really isn't an Easter egg step or anything like that, but the ray gun upgrades are a lot of fun. They're not really elemental, but there are 4 different variations of the ray gun, and they're a lot of fun to use, a lot of fun to play with, and I mean, I'm using the dual wield one in the gameplay, which is basically something that everybody has dreamed of in zombies, to have a dual wield ray gun. So that is the next thing that I like about Alpha Omega's Easter egg. And the final thing, that the boss fight is a lot of fun. It's a simple boss fight, but it's a lot of fun. Fill up soul boxes, knife the Avogadro into the MPD, and there you go, you're done. So much fun, super, super simple, and that adds to why I think Alpha Omega's Easter egg is a lot of fun. And last but not least, we are on to the things that I don't like that much. So one of the things that I don't like that much about Alpha Omega is that triggering the console is kind of tedious. The number pad is not what I would say a fine-tuned machine. You have to get really close. You have to just slam on the square button as hard as you can, it seems like. to get it to do what you want. Maybe I should aim down sights, that might make it a little bit easier, but it's just so tedious to use. You have to be really close to it as well. You can get downed, you can lose a ton of shields, and it's just super annoying to kind of continually press numbers in an Easter egg. I don't really like that much, but they could have done a couple things differently with the console and make it a little bit smoother. But that's just one of the things I don't like. The next thing I don't like is that Pack-a-Punch can be kind of annoying to get. When you have these super fast zombies coming at you that are Nova 6 zombies, it can be kind of hard to manage them, especially because they take a lot more hits than a regular zombie. So they can get you trapped, they can get you down, and it's just kind of annoying. And that's the next thing. And the final thing I don't like about this map is that it is a super tight map, which means downs are pretty easy. Now, there's not very many good places to train at all on this map. I think I can only think of one off the top of my head, and that is behind the yellow house, right by the kind of the random perk locker from the original Nuketown Zombies. So there's not very much space to run around on that map, so it's very easy to all of a sudden go down for no reason. I mean, I've got a couple of downs in this Easter egg. I don't think I've ever done this Easter egg without a down. There's just so many tight areas that it's just very hard to consistently do well. And one last final thing, I guess, that I don't really like about that much is the jumping jolting jacks and the Nova 6 crawler zombies. They're just kind of annoying. The jolting jacks I don't mind as much because they're not super overpowered, but the Nova 6 zombies can hit zombies and make them super fast, like Verruct sprinters times 1,000, and they're super annoying. They can easily get you down, get you in a dying wish, get you trapped. I just don't really like them. They're kind of a bad part of the map in my opinion, but that is pretty much going to do this for this video. It was a pretty long one, I know, but there was a lot of stuff to cover here. Easter egg steps, what I like about the map, what I don't like about the map, and I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do like videos like this, let me know down below in the comment section. But anyways, that is going to do it for another episode of Unpopular Opinions here in Black Ops 4. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. This is probably going to be a big editing project, so any support shown is very much appreciated. But anyways, if you have missed any of my previous Unpopular Opinion videos, those will be in the playlist in the description. If you missed my other previous zombie video on the channel, that will be at the end of the video, and my main channel if you want to check that out as well. And I'll see you guys all in another Call of Duty video very soon.